Hello, everyone. Welcome to Bangers, Bops, and Banter. This is fuck. I haven't done this in a while. We're on episode 18 now. Um, so I haven't done this in a while, man. Fuck. So we had. I'm Joe. I'm one of your hosts. I'm here with Brendan, my co-host.
Hi, I'm Brendan, the co-host.
Wow, and we have a guest. Introduce yourself,
I'm
guest.
the guest.
Yes, he is the guest.
Jason.
Oh shit, you have a name?
The guest.
That's crazy.
Damn, dude.
The guest formerly known as Jason.
So first on the episode, we're gonna go over some music and movie news that has happened. It's exciting, wow. Then we're gonna talk about Led Zeppelin's fourth record, Led Zeppelin 4. Whoa. And then we're gonna discuss Lawrence of Arabia, the movie that is very long.
It's long, yeah.
So yeah, let's get into the news. We have some album announcements. These are just ones that I was very excited about. So firstly, Aesop Rock has announced a new album, called, what is the album called? It's called Spirit World Field Guide, which I'm super excited for. It looks really creative. I love the artwork he's released for it. It's super cool. So, yeah. Next, what is it? Next, there's a new Fleet Foxes album that just came out called Shore. Go listen to it. Is real good. Real good album. Does anyone want to comment?
No.
Yeah, sure. I'm also excited about those albums. Sure, listen to it. Very good.
Wow.
Crack Up, the worst Fleet Foxes album. Just saying.
Damn. It's such a, man, what a disappointing release really Crack Up was, you know? It's, God. Man, only a really incredible album. How could they?
I don't know, man. It's
only just a really great album.
It's only, like, sure, if it was anybody, but Fleet Foxes, you know.
I don't know who Aesop Rock is.
Aesop Rock, he's like one of my favorite rappers.
He's a dictionary.
Of all time. Yeah. No, he's the thesaurus, basically.
Aesop Rock.
He is wrong Aesop.
Aesop.
Basically, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but there's a chart where it basically it breaks down the amount of unique words certain rappers used. And Aesop Rock is at the top with like 8,000 unique words within
like Shakespeare.
Yeah, basically. Within like I think the sample size is like 35,000 words.
Nice. Got it. ASAP Rocky.
I'd highly recommend checking out his it's Aesop Rock, I swear to God, Jason.
Is there a dollar sign in the middle?
No.
Aesop, like Aesop's Fables, for anybody listening.
Yeah. I'd highly recommend checking out The Impossible Kid. It's like easily one of my favorite rap albums of the 2010s. I think it's really great. But yeah, go check out Aesop Rock. I love him.
Hey. Oh, Malibu Ken. I know Malibu Ken. Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm surprised you know Malibu Ken and not Aesop Rock.
I saw like a Fantana review of it or something.
Okay.
And I think he rated it well, so that's a good sign, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a great Malibu Ken, also a great record. But yeah. Next in music news, Run the Jewels. They run those jewels. They're also going to be performing RTJ4 in full on Adult Swim on October 10th. So it's pretty cool. Wow. Run the Jewels 4, I think, is for me, the best album of the year so far. I think it's really fantastic. Would the big recommends, big yes recommends. Wow.
Fiona Apple is better.
Run the Jewels 4 is better, Brendan. Get out of here, you pitchfork stan.
Aesop Rocky.
I make my own opinions, Joe. They just happened to align with those of Pitchfork.
Alright, next in music news. Cardi B has filed for divorce from Offset.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't have anything to comment on this. They just be divorcing.
I just, so they split up in 2018. I'm just reading the article. And
okay.
He showed up at a fucking show at Rolling Loud and said, "Take me back, Cardi." It's the cringiest shit I've ever read in my life. Take me back, Cardi. I don't like that.
Man, if I was married to Playboy Cardi, I would say that too.
That's true. Playboy Cardi, he invented music.
Yeah, he did. Die Lit, it's just like the greatest thing ever created.
Yes.
Yeah. And lastly, this is something interesting that I thought we could take a bit of a look at. So you remember how Rolling Stone had that top 500 albums list that was really fucking terrible?
Yeah.
They updated it.
Oh.
And honestly, it's actually pretty good now.
I need to look at this now.
I was just looking at the top 50. But there's actually previously it was basically just rock and white dudes. Like that was basically it.
I know who wrote this. Like the original.
I think it was the collaboration of just everyone on or at Rolling Stone, and it just is like Rolling Stone is a rock magazine, and they're really biased towards rock, like way too biased towards rock.
Yeah.
They gave like the most recent U2 album, they gave like a 9 out of 10. And it's like what? What? But yeah, the new top 50 is actually really good. I can read. There's like some records that really should have been there. You got like Illmatic, Low End Theory. You got OK Computer and Kid A. You had. Oh yeah.
I just wanted to say, you have My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy above To Pimp a Butterfly.
Yeah, no, that's true. That is a travesty. But I'm kind of okay. I'm like fine with that. I know a lot of people love My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. But you got like, you got Enter the Wu-Tang. You got Voodoo by D'Angelo. I will say the top 10 is still a bit mainly just rock. There, there's more variety there. You got The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill at number 10. It's a good choice. They had, and number 1 is now What's Going On by Marvin Gaye, which I think is a pretty great choice, I say. Really fantastic record. So
I hopped on the Rolling Stone site to just look at the rankings, and I was looking at the comments, which you shouldn't look at comments on random news sites, but I did anyways. And I saw some people, they were saying something, and I was like, yeah, that's kind of weird. How Sgt. Pepper's was like, what, 1 or 2 on the original list?
Yeah.
And it got bumped down to like 24.
Yeah, they actually moved Revolt. I think it's Abbey Road is actually now the highest.
Yeah, Abbey Road is higher.
Which I think that's fair.
Yeah, no, a lot of people would echo that opinion. I just thought it was interesting how it got shafted. Like it was right there at the top, and they're just like,
oh no. You're only the 24th greatest album of all time now. Sorry.
The Velvet Underground is above it now, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah. That banana. Look at that banana.
Yeah.
But yeah. The list, big improvement.
Looks good. Oh, and that, the one that we know, was that really done in like 2003? When was the last time it was updated?
I forget when that was like 2008 or something. I don't know.
So it was 2003, slightly updated in 2012.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they weren't, they didn't figure out that music was still being made after 1999.
Yeah, basically.
That people other than white people exist.
Yeah.
They figured that out in 2020.
Damn.
So that was good of them.
Good job, Rolling Stone. You made a list that I don't think is terrible. Actually, as far as the list goes, I do think it's pretty solid. As far as it's hard to rank albums in this way, but I think it's as far as a list goes, I think they did a pretty good job of including stuff that I would consider good choices.
Yeah. I still think it's Beatles and Bob Dylan heavy, but
yeah,
it's not bad. It's definitely way better than it was.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Now on to movie news. This is less movie news and more just entertainment news now, I guess. The first one, because J.K. Rowling sucks. I had to include this. Basically, the villain in J.K. Rowling's new book is a male serial killer who wears dresses to make female victims feel safe around him. It's
a little on the nose.
It's a little
Oh my god.
Yeah. Pretty shitty. So yeah,
Jake Carriage from The Telegraph sums up the book's message as never trust a man in a dress.
Yikes. Big yikes.
That's not good, huh?
J.K. Rowling kind of sucks.
It's pretty much par for the course with her, isn't it?
Yeah, at this point it is. Pretty unfortunate.
Down with terse.
Yes.
If only Harry Potter was written by someone else.
If only. If only I forget I don't know specifically how to pronounce his name, but Rick Riordan or whoever, the guy who did the Percy Jackson books. If only he had written Harry Potter, because he's a great writer, and also is way more accepting of trans people. I'm one of the main characters in I think some of his recent novels is trans, so it's cool.
And as far as I know, he doesn't tweet about it every day.
Yes.
And try to compensate for his own personal hatred and opinions.
Yeah. All right, next. Joaquin Phoenix has reportedly been offered $50 million for 2 Joker sequels. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
More than a little bit of money, yeah.
Yeah. The thing is,
there.
Or you go.
They made a little money. If
they did,
didn't know they.
The first Joker made over $1 billion.
Yeah, it's
the highest grossing R-rated movie ever by a lot.
It's just a little bit of money there.
Yeah. I don't know. The thing is Joaquin Phoenix is not. He's not someone who just does franchise movies or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
He's very much someone who's about I guess the being in more serious roles in that regard. So I wouldn't be surprised if he took that because it's $50 million. But also, I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't take it either. It's just no, I don't want to do sequels to this.
What else do you think they could do with him?
I don't know. It felt like the story was basically over.
Is it just gonna be more dancing and shooting people sometimes and getting in trouble? causing lots of mayhem?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it will be. Maybe Warner Bros. Will be like, all right, now put Batman in it. Bruce Wayne, he becomes Batman now,
Dude.
and then Joker, Joaquin Phoenix, he dances and then shoots Batman.
Yeah, 2 more though.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I have a feeling that the second one's gonna flop.
I wouldn't be surprised. I think a lot of the hype around the first one was just like, I guess a lot of people. Despite being so derogative of other movies, it was something that I think people were kind of craving, like a more serious superhero film, something that feels more grounded and relatable. So, I don't know. And
no. Hear me on this. Here's how they save the Joker franchise. They bring in Scarlett Johansson, but not like Scarlett Johansson as like Harley Quinn. No. Scarlett Johansson as the AI from Her as Harley Quinn. There we go.
Oh,
Done it.
Yeah,
it's crossed over.
That sounds good. Do they have like AI sex again?
God, I hope so.
Yeah.
Perfect. Man, Her's coming to Netflix next month, so that's cool.
Yeah, you guys should watch it and formulate an opinion on it, whether it's good or bad.
I will. And then lastly, in movie news, this isn't movie news. This is TV news, I guess. The Walking Dead, it's going to end with season 11. Did you know they were still making Walking Dead?
Wait, The Walking Dead is still going? I thought it ended like 5 years ago.
Yeah, I did too until I saw this. Apparently there's 11 seasons. Jesus Christ.
I watched it up until season 7-ish, and it should have ended at season 5, and now it's at season 11, so you know that's a good sign.
Yeah, for most of the people I've talked to about it, it's just like, it just was the same thing over and over again. They're like, why is it doing, why?
It was really solid for a couple years there. Like up to even season 6 I'd give it, but after that they just dragged it way out. And they just reiterated the same points. Oh, there's a bad guy. Oh, finally some safety, but no, there's a bad guy. And then it's just that same loop over and over and over again. And then all of the main cast left, so now everyone who was pretty much destined to be a side character is now the main character. So that makes for a good show, doesn't it?
Yes, absolutely. Also, there's a spin-off series that's coming in 2023, focusing specifically on Daryl and Carol.
Oh. Wow.
Yay!
Wow.
What's their couple name?
Daryl.
Carol.
Daryl.
With an OL at the end.
Yeah.
Carol with a YL is kind of strong, though.
Yeah, that's true. All right. That's kind of it for that news. There wasn't really that much to say. So, Brendan, what are you doing? Are you okay?
They can't see this.
Yeah, that's true, but I can.
What are you talking about? What do you mean? What are you doing? You can't see him.
I mean,
I'm invisible.
We're recording in different houses, Joe.
Damn, dude.
All right, moving on. Let's talk about Led Zeppelin, the fourth one.
Led Zeppelin. Numero
the first Led Zeppelin, there was Led
14.
Zeppelin. Then there was Greta Van Fleet, which was much better than Led Zeppelin.
Yes.
And then after Greta Van Fleet, unexplored territory.
Yeah.
There's just an infinite cycle of Led Zeppelin ripoff bands that are just ripping off the previous ripoff band.
Yes. Until it just becomes a white noise.
I can't wait in like 20 years when people are like, man, this new band, they sound a lot like Greta Van Fleet, like too much.
Do you think they paid Led Zeppelin $50 million to make Led Zeppelin 4?
Why would they do that?
Ooh, do you think Greta Van Fleet paid
we
Led
were just
Zeppelin?
no, we were fucking talking about the Joker.
Oh, why?
So
That was a
very-
good joke. Like, get the fuck out of here with that. Because we're paying Joaquin Phoenix.
That has no.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba.
Okay.
All right, Jason. You tried. Congratulations.
All right, ready? Let me try again. Led Zeppelin 4. That must mean there's 3 other ones. Am I right?
There are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. When's Led Zeppelin 5 coming out?
If Led Zeppelin 4 is so good, why isn't there a Led Zeppelin 5?
It's called Physical Graffiti, and it's their best album. Okay.
Why isn't there
moving
Led
on.
Zeppelin? Okay.
So
Led
what do you
Zeppelin
guys
4.
think of Led Zeppelin 4? What is your opinions?
Roman numeral 4
I
out of
have
10.
one that's whoa. Whoa.
I guess I'll go first. I'm probably I'll be like, I like this album. I'm not like head over heels for it though. I think there's some really good songs here. Black Dog, the opener, great track. Really just got some classic riffs, some classic grooves to it. Really fun song. Everybody loves Black Dogs, I mean, everybody just loves dogs. Let's be honest, dogs, fantastic. A couple other tracks here that I think are really good. Rock and Roll, Miss Mountain Hop, When the Levee Breaks, and of course Stairway to Heaven. Stairway to Heaven being my personal favorite track. I love the composition of that track. I think the build and the payoff, especially the payoff, just sounds so good. It's a very catchy song as well, and like it's probably my favorite Led Zeppelin song. It's really good. It just sounds really good. I think it sounds very, very beautiful as a song. However,
All right. So I'm sorry. I'm just gonna cut. I'm gonna cut in here. I'm gonna barge in with my
Joe's gonna come in with
controversial
some
opinion.
hot takes.
My shitty opinion is that this Stairway to Heaven's a bit overrated. I like Stairway to Heaven. I think it's good, but I also think the build isn't that interesting when compared to the payoff, and I feel like compositionally it's kind of boring when I compare it to other artists. Like, I feel like I listen to the build and I just want to go listen to like a Pink Floyd song that does a similar thing.
What a normie pick for favorite Led Zeppelin song, Brendan.
Yeah, I know, right? Fuck you, Brendan.
Like,
fucking
I don't know.
chill.
I mean, like,
How are you gonna say that on the album with The Battle of Evermore and Going to California?
those are two of my least favorite tracks off this
Oh,
album.
because you like the little fucking dad rock that all sounds the same, huh?
Sure.
I will say, I think Black Dog is the best song in this album. I think it's really fantastic.
Black Dog
it's
is
so
second best.
it's so catchy. Oh my god, that riff is
Okay.
incredibly infectious.
I'm gonna take my turn here, okay?
Sure, yeah.
I just want to say, The Battle of Evermore and Going to California are great songs. Maybe because I'm a cottagecore bitch, but I really like folky stuff in general.
Right, fucking
What are you-
cottagecore.
What are you talking about? You know what cottagecore is?
Is that an actual genre?
Yeah,
I feel
go
like
look it up.
I feel like it's just called folk.
No. Well, it's not like a musical genre.
Oh,
It's like a stylistic genre. It's like cyberpunk, but like
Cottage.
you're from the fucking 13th century.
it's an aesthetic. Okay.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
I don't know, because there's not really like. I mean, I guess there's like cyberpunky sounding songs. I guess so. I get that.
I mean, there's like
Look at the album
cyber
cover.
grind. That's a genre.
Whatever.
We're not. We're just saying in general,
I
songs sound like cyberpunk.
mean, talk
Yeah.
about Led Zeppelin here, okay? The Battle of Evermore makes me feel like I'm in a fairy tale, and the source material for that song is literally The Lord of the Rings. You know that?
Yeah. I think
you-
that
you
song
don't-
sounds bad.
Oh, you think
Really?
it sounds bad? Why do you think it
I
sounds
don't think
bad?
it sounds
then?
bad. I just don't think it's that interesting.
It's not
It's
Stairway to
better than
Heaven.
Stairway to Heaven, honestly.
He doesn't have
I
a
think it has
sweet
really-
guitar riff
the
for
way-
Brenda
the way
to dad
that-
rock out to.
The way that all the instruments are layered on that track, I think, is really interesting, and I think adds just it has a very great just sound to it. It's really like relaxing and like nice. I don't know,
I think it's
especially
a-
with the vocals. I think it works really well.
I think it's a fine like atmosphere on the track. Like I don't think the track sounds bad. It's just like not that interesting or engaging. I think.
I was just gonna say, fun fact. Let me jut in. Maybe you'll respect this song a little more. This is the only Led Zeppelin song with a vocal feature. Did you know that?
Okay.
Just thought I'd say. It's some folk singer.
Good
Isn't that
for them.
cool, Brendan?
I'm so glad they got
Isn't
credit.
that really cool?
Where's their
I-
credit though? They're not credited on the track list.
The fucking album was put out in 1971.
Yeah.
Go get a fucking album sleeve and look and let me know, all right?
No.
No.
I don't like this album enough to get it on vinyl. I'll get physical graffiti on vinyl. Not getting this.
Okay. I like the Battle of Evermore because it's not just a Led Zeppelin rock song. I prefer the opening to Stairway to Heaven than the closer of Stairway to Heaven.
Damn.
I like Going to California because it makes me feel nostalgic. Nostalgic about something that I've never experienced before.
How can you
Yo,
be
we should
nostalgic
ju-
about it?
We should go to
it just makes me
California
feel
and-
like this warmth in my heart. You know what I mean?
We should go to California, and then you can
Do you
feel
wanna
nostalgic
Do you want to
about it.
Going to California with me?
Sure. Let's
Okay.
go right
Let's
now.
go. And then we'll go to
Goodbye, Brendan.
Saratoga.
Fuck
Going
you.
to Saratoga.
Yeah, you're gonna bet on horses or whatever.
Yeah, we're going to Saratoga
Jesus.
by Greta Van Fleet. I don't know. And then like, okay, you liked When the Levee Breaks, right?
I think it's a
I-
pretty good closer.
I thought it was kind of lame.
Wow.
Like I thought it was kind of a geeky song.
A geeky song?
I
Like
think
I thought it was just kind of weird. I don't know. Like I thought that the vocals were kind of cringe.
I've never heard Led Zeppelin vocals described as cringe.
Well, if there are any, this is what it is. I don't know what to tell you. Misty Mountain Hop, Four Sticks, rock and roll, all good rock and roll songs. Okay. When the
Yeah.
Levee Breaks, kind of cringe. Black Dog, awesome song. Everyone knows Black Dog. If you don't know Black Dog, you are cringe. Okay. And if you don't love Black Dog, you're cringe.
If I were to take cringe out of your vocabulary, do you think you could speak?
I used cringe. Okay. What if I'm not gonna create tension right now, but you freaking wait. You wait till after the show.
I'm amazed at how much we all disagree about this album, despite probably liking it about the same.
We're all gonna have the
Probably.
same rating at the end.
We just all like, I feel like everybody. I feel like we all are going to Led Zeppelin for different aspects, though. Like for me, like,
There's a little bit for everyone.
I'm not intensely listening to a Led Zeppelin album. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm looking for some catchy riffs, some fun hooks, some stairways to heaven, and that's all I'm here for.
I kind of look for something different, I guess. I really like when Led Zeppelin slows down their pace and goes into their more like folky style music, because I think that Plant's vocals lend themselves well to that style of music, and that shows on the Battle of Evermore and Going to California for me. But that's not to say that I don't appreciate the more rocky aspects of this album. I just think that like when I hear that, I just think it's good rock. It's Led Zeppelin, but it doesn't stand out to me like the Battle of Evermore or Going to California do. And that's the
Yeah.
nice and calm way to reiterate what I was trying to say for the past 10 minutes.
Cringe.
But But for me, the reason why I think Led Zeppelin actually stands out at all from like other bands of the time is their incorporation of like blues rock elements into these longer composition songs, and their ability to create catchy riffs. Like one of my favorite, my third favorite Led Zeppelin album is actually their first album, which is by far like the most bluesy of their albums. I think that says something about like what I think the band really has in store, and why they are, relevant at all, and why not, like Joe said, why not just listen to Pink Floyd if you want longer compositions? If I wanted folk, I'll listen to fucking Simon and Garfunkel,
But this is different than that. This still has those. It has the Led Zeppelin effect. Like you can't get
sort of aesthetic.
Yeah, you can't get that from Simon and Garfunkel. These are, I mean, I don't know. I feel like someone could enjoy both styles of music, but I think there is a big difference there. But let's just say, hot take here: Led Zeppelin's a good band. Yeah.
Whoa.
Pretty
hot take.
I think they're overrated, honestly.
Ooh.
Like, as a whole, I think they're overrated.
I will agree that I do think Led Zeppelin's a bit overrated.
How highly do you think they are rated? Like on a critical scale?
Very highly. Like, I think they're considered like one of the greatest bands ever.
Yeah, by like popular opinion.
Yeah.
But by
and I think that's overrating it.
No.
It's like how great. It's like, what is it considered to like people who listen? Like, are people who listen to like, I don't know, are people who listen to like fucking Lil Pump, are they being like, this is the greatest album of all time? No. They aren't. They're just like, this is fun.
No, but probably. I was saying that
People legitimately consider Led Zeppelin to be like one of the greatest bands ever. Like, not only like general people, but like if like that Rolling Stone list has like a bunch of Led Zeppelin albums on it. So
yeah, even the updated list, I think this album was at number like 52 or something.
Yeah.
Is that so unfair? I know there are a lot of things that you can understand why someone, but like,
I can understand why someone would put it there.
This isn't. This is a good album. It's not even an okay album. It is a good album.
Yeah. I think still, as a whole, I think the band is overrated. There's some very lackluster records in their discography.
I don't know. Like, what do you consider? I don't know. Like, popularity and critical acclaim are two separate things, yes?
Yes, but they have both popularity and critical acclaim.
You think they have critical acclaim because
they have critical acclaim.
Okay. That's fair. Because I knew they were a popular band. I didn't know that they were rated along the likes of some other high-tier bands, I guess. Like, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just not that familiar with critical acclaim in general.
Yeah, people love Led Zeppelin, the first album. They love Led Zeppelin 3. They love Led Zeppelin 4. They love Physical Graffiti. People even love what's the one with the after this one? Houses of the Holy. Thank you. Like, these are all records that some people think are like some of the greatest records ever.
Like, I mean, you can go like look at like Pitchfork's reviews, like Physical Graffiti 10. Houses of Holy 9.3, Led Zeppelin 4 9.1.
Yeah.
Yeah, Led Zeppelin 1 or Led Zeppelin or self-titled 9.2, Led Zeppelin 2 a 10. Whoa, Pitchfork.
Wait, on Led Zeppelin 2, really?
Yeah, Led Zeppelin 3 9.5. Yeah.
Yeah.
People love them some Led Zeppelin.
I guess.
Okay, that's fine.
Like, I enjoy Led Zeppelin. I don't mind if they come on, but also I'm not like, I never like go looking for their music, with the exception of like, I don't know, Black Dog and Immigrant Song, or those are ones I just go back to. But outside of that, I'm like, not something I'm super fond of.
I saw Heart play Immigrant Song live. That was weird. Anyway.
Okay.
Joe, do you have an opinion on the album?
Well, I've already stated my.
I want. Okay.
What are we doing? Because I've already stated my opinion
Oh, okay.
on songs.
I would
so-
give this album an 8 out of 10.
Yeah. Me too. I'd give it. I originally had it an 8.5. It's moved down a bit to an 8. But I still think it's a great album. I think it's definitely worth listening to. There's a lot of great songs on it. Yeah.
I found myself kind of floating between a 7.5 and an 8.
Mm.
But mostly because I don't know. I don't pull that much value out of the majority of the album, and only the songs that I've really honed in on.
Mm.
So I think a 7.5 is where I sit.
Damn.
All right.
So, yeah. So I was right when I said we were arguing over the album, even though we all had generally the same opinion of it.
It has a little bit for everyone.
Yeah.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that. A little bit of blues. I don't know.
A little bit of blues, and that's it. That's all it has.
It's just a little bit of blues.
A little bit of Greta Van Fleet influence.
Absolutely.
God.
I'm gonna recommend a Greta Van Fleet album
No.
soon, just cause fuck it.
No. It's the day I quit being co-host.
I have a way to make Brendan quit at a moment's notice. Let's go.
Dude, if you try and make me do another Spin Doctors album or whatever, I'm quitting. I'm out of here.
All right, so next week I'm gonna recommend this album called "Nice Talking to Me" by Spin Doctors.
Well, it was nice talking to y'all.
Bye bye. He's leaving. He's gone. He left frame.
Nice.
He ceases to exist. I don't have any form of object permanence, so he is dead.
Honestly, who does these days?
Peekaboo.
Object permanence overrated.
Overrated, man. All right.
Okay.
So, do we want to talk about Lawrence of Arabia?
Sure.
Moving on to the movie Lawrence of Arabia that we all watched, except for me, because I had watched it only a little bit ago. So I didn't want to watch a almost 4-hour movie again.
That's fair. Jason, would you say this is one of the greatest movies of all time?
No.
Damn.
Wow.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Contextually, probably. I don't know. I feel like a lot of stuff like this is kind of dwarfed by modern film
Really?
because there's such a disparity in like what we've learned about making good movies back in 1960 compared to now.
1962 is when this movie came out
62,
originally, by the
yeah.
way. I don't know. I think this film actually holds up pretty well.
Yeah.
No, it does. Okay, it does. It does. But it's still a 1962 film.
I guess. I don't like. They actually use a lot of like cinematography techniques that are like pretty creative, I think.
Yeah. There's a lot of shots I definitely remember. There's that one like super long shot or far away shot of the like the army like storming the city or whatever,
Yeah.
or the port, and that is like incredible because it's just one like it's mostly I don't remember if there's like little inserts in between, but it's pretty much all continuous as you just watch them charge into a city, and you're like a mile away from them or something. You're super far back, and you just have this giant view of everything that's going on.
It's certainly one of the prettiest movies of all time.
Okay.
Do you think it's one of the greatest movies of all time?
I don't. I like this movie.
I think it should be considered one of the greatest of all time. It's insanely impressive. The scale of what they're doing is like incredible. Like it's actually mind blowing.
Yeah, especially for the time, this movie like is groundbreaking. If you want to talk about like movies that should be considered like the greatest of all time, yes, include this movie. personally, it's not like one of my personal favorite movies of all
Yeah.
time.
Hmm.
But it's definitely, it's a very innovative film, I think.
Yes. I guess the thing to me that really is impressive is just, like, even by today's standards, this is super impressive.
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't know another film that has, like, if you see, like, giant, I don't know, if you watch a Star Wars movie and there's just, like, these giant scenes of, like, ships fighting each other, it's all CGI or whatever, you know? Whereas this is just, it's all real. And that adds so much to it.
Mhm.
Like, the amount of coordination that's needed for so many of these shots is incredible. And it's just super interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the like the scope of this movie. This movie took forever to make.
Yeah.
And even if you made it today, it would still take forever to make.
Yeah.
Granted, there are some things that you could probably do a little bit faster. And also, apparently, like while they were filming, the crew and stuff kept on getting sick because they're like in the desert. And you probably handle that a little bit better today with some infrastructure.
Yes.
But it's no, like the fact that they stuck with it. I don't remember if like you can find a budget for how much this took to make, but I'm sure at the time it was quite expensive.
15 million was the budget at the time. And with inflation, that's like, I think I looked it up. That's like 50 million, I think, ish.
Mhm.
I don't remember exactly, but I think it's around there.
I will say,
You go.
despite this movie being like 3 hours and 45 minutes long, I never once got tired of watching this film. It was very engaging despite the length, and I think that's intimidating at first, but if anyone listening ends up watching it, it's I don't think you'll be able to turn away. It's like the same appeal that Seven Samurai had for me.
Yeah.
Where I was just drawn to watching it, and I was engaged to this like epic narrative. I kind of hated T. Lawrence for at least half of the film.
Really?
I mean, I think that's kind of the point.
It is the point. Yeah, it is, because he is a flawed hero.
Yes, I think that's, for me, well, outside of just the scale and a lot of the cinematography, the most interesting thing is just how Lawrence becomes like very deluded in his view. He like thinks of himself as like a savior, essentially, and just becomes like very unstable, I guess.
And that transition's not forced whatsoever.
Oh yeah, it feels very natural.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. I think the length actually helps with that.
Yeah.
Because there's never a point where all of a sudden he's acting differently than he was before, if that makes sense.
There were certain experiences that built up to that.
Yes. It made everything feels like the progression of the movie feels very logical. I think that works really well.
Yeah, I want to say, so this movie is based off of T.E. Lawrence's memoirs, which aren't 100% truthful of the events that happened in World War I, but they're a decent account of them. He definitely, we know that he exaggerated some things because he writes that like he did something which is impossible to do, like he crossed the desert in like some amount of days, which is like impossible or whatever. But
I mean, in all fairness, that's also probably he could have just lost track.
Yeah. But it's certainly it's interesting because you would think that like his memoirs would make himself look better, and there are times where it does. But part of this movie, I think this movie works really well in two parts, and the intermission separates it. Where the first part is sort of T. Lawrence's rise to his position. He, you know, the Howitz.
He kind of becomes like the savior, essentially.
They crown him essentially to be the leader of the Arab armies, and he has he unites a bunch of the local leaders, and they're following him, and he's leading the armies and doing quite successful. And then part 2 is sort of he is he becomes deluded with his own success, and he starts to believe that he is a god or invincible or something of the sort, and he essentially he overextends himself, and he messes up, and he falls and becomes not a great leader really anymore.
He does a lot of bad shit.
There's this one scene where the Turks have just essentially raised a city, an Arab city, and are running away. They're retreating.
It's just like a village, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
he's like.
Yeah, and he is essentially like he literally has an angel and a devil on each side of him. It's like very obvious what they're doing. And he listens to the devil character, I guess. And it's like, yeah, like he's not really a good person anymore.
Are you familiar with his memoirs, Brendan?
I've not read them. I've only read about them in relation to this movie.
Because you know how like the movie obviously portrays him as kind of having a struggle with his own intentions and actions and whatnot. Did he display that in his writing? Like, is this true to that, or is that like the director taking an initiative there?
I have not looked into them this much. I know that, like, because this movie was made, so yeah, T. Lawrence died in like 1935, right? This movie was made in 1962. There were people like who saw this movie who knew T. E. Lawrence in person, and I know that most of them were like, yeah, that person on the screen is not T. E. Lawrence. But as far as like what was written in his memoirs, I haven't looked enough into that, so I'm not sure.
Right. Because if he did, I don't know, if he did talk about that kind of stuff, like his awareness of his own deterioration, I feel like that almost confirms that it was him embellishing the situation and making a story out of it rather than actually the true events. Either that or he was having some like real mental discourse when he was writing those memoirs.
I mean, who knows? I mean, well, like, I feel like at war, everybody's having some real mental discourse.
Yeah, definitely. Either way, we know that he was a part of the Arab Revolt.
We do know that he was a very integral
to some
part.
degree, and that he led them in some manner, or he was an organizer, I guess, or he was sent on an order to do what he did, I guess. I don't know, but I don't know whether he was actually the friend of the Arabs that he said he was, or he was loyal to his country is kind of up to interpretation, right? Or basically limited by what he has written about the situation.
Yeah. I mean, he was certainly like he was like a war hero at the time. I know that. Which is it's cool, I guess, and it's also I like why they made a movie about him because people knew the name, and now people definitely know the name because of the movie. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, definitely.
But, yeah.
Wow.
I did enjoy it. I think that I'm glad the director pulled directly from the memoir and not try to get all the facts about the situation, I guess. Because I think it makes for better source material.
For a better story, yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know. I mean, if anything, Lawrence is a great writer. And a good storyteller, and honestly, I don't know.
Wow.
I like it.
Wow.
It wasn't a waste of 3 hours and 45 minutes. Isn't that cool?
Yes, that is cool.
If something can do that to you, that means it's at least okay, right?
Probably, yeah. I do want to say one thing that I do dislike is the movie does start with his death, and I guess I understand that he's based on a real person. but I do think to some extent, because it starts with his death, you kind of lose a lot of tension, I guess, with the movie. 'Cause there's no long. It is like about his rise and fall, but there's never any doubt going on as to how his fall happens if you're unfamiliar with the main character. So instead of being like, oh man, what's gonna happen to him, you're kind of like, oh, he dies. So some like stuff will happen, but you don't. There's never a point where you're like, oh, he might fucking die, dude.
That entire intro sequence was really awkward, I found.
Yeah, definitely.
The way that looks is definitely a limitation, like, of the time.
His hair was just still as he was going 90 on the motorcycle. But even then, I just thought it was a weird scene. Like, even if it was done perfectly, like Fast and the Furious style, beautifully.
His motorcycle jumps out of a skyscraper and he goes into another one.
I just think it was so awkward and abrupt compared to the start of what we would consider the actual movie.
Yeah, I remember like the first time watching the movie, I I had obviously heard about the movie. It's like, oh, there's these grand deserts, and it starts with this, and I was like, is this the right movie?
It also starts with a 3-minute intermission, and I thought that my thing was broken.
Oh, yeah, no. The updated version of the movie starts basically the David Lean, the director, wanted it to start with like an overture, or each section to start with an overture.
Right. Okay. Okay.
So the first 3 minutes are like it's just black, and there's an overture going on, which is an interesting choice. I have to be honest. I don't enjoy it very much. I just kind of wish it got on with the film, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I do think it takes away a bit.
Music sounds good, I think.
I do like the music. I think it's very good. It's just like I guess I'd rather experience that with the film, because it's not like it doesn't like help me get in the mood really or anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of black screen. So
yeah, it just made me think that Amazon Prime was broken. And that I was just gonna, waste money.
Can I ask, what's the aspect ratio in Amazon Prime? Is it the original? Like the fucking small, like super wide screen, basically?
I can't really remember.
Is the Academy ratio it uses? I forget.
Are iPads 16:9?
Yes.
I think it was probably the widescreen version. Then I had black bars on the top and bottom.
Okay. Also, it's not the Academy ratio. I forget. It's like it uses like the original one uses it's like 2.8 to 1 or something is the ratio. It's like super.
That's
wide.
Garbage.
What?
It's a garbage ratio. What's that?
No, I actually think it works really well. It's
14.5.
What?
That's so
2.85
compressed.
Yeah. Well, what the entire point of it is to show you like the giant expanse of the desert.
Yeah.
And helps really well to demonstrate that. And that works really well in the theater. A bit. I understand why they changed the ratio, because it works not as well on a TV.
Yeah.
But I do wish I could have seen it in its original ratio. I think it would have made it a lot of the cinematography a lot more interesting to me.
I'll watch this in like an IMAX theater.
Yeah, let's go to the fucking that big Globe theater. Where is that? Like the Museum of Science.
Okay, I was wrong. It's 220. It's 2.2 to 1.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's not
still...
as bad.
Yeah. Is that? Yes, this is here. I'll copy this image. The original looks like that. So.
It's neat.
I definitely wish that was what I could have experienced, but yeah.
I'll pour one out for that guy, by the way. Didn't even know.
Oh, the guy gets shot?
Yeah. Whoa! Spoilers!
Oh,
We're
this is
just saying a guy gets shot. It's a war movie.
Spoiler.
It's also like 20 minutes in, so like,
Yeah, I don't remember the guy's name. It was so long ago. He gets shot, guys.
damn,
Someone in the movie gets shot.
damn,
So it's a war movie. Crazy.
yeah. All right, well, do you want to have some concluding thoughts? I guess.
Are you okay?
Yeah, are you good, Jason?
Yeah, no, I'm good. I was. Is it my turn?
Yeah, you can go.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
It's your movie.
This is a good movie. I mean, it's a good movie. It's not my favorite movie ever. I probably won't watch it again, because it's a big time dump. But I did enjoy the time I had with it. I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10. Because I think that it's a movie that people should watch. And that I was engaged with the film throughout. I think it is held back by the technology at the time, but I think that the technology at the time, almost made this film better in a way too, because obviously they used all practical effects, they shot on location, and it just made for a very pretty film. So yeah, an 8.
Wow. I will agree with Jason. I think this is a great film. I think it does. It's very interesting to watch. There, like, the psychology of Lawrence is super interesting to dig into, and how he becomes so deluded in, how he like basically portrays himself as like a savior of these people. And I think it looks really good. It's a really, really, really great film. 8 out of 10.
Yeah. This film looks nice. I do think it's a bit long at the end of the day. But overall, good. That's also why we break it into 2 parts. If you break it into 2 parts, it's like a 2-hour movie, an hour-and-a-half movie. Much more palatable, I think.
Yeah.
And 2 parts are like very segmented, so it works. But it is a nice movie. It's pretty cool. It does look good. Everybody, that's pretty much what everybody says about this movie, is that it looks good, and that's because it looks good, I think. So yeah, 8 out of 10.
Wow, we really on this 8 out of 10 train today on the podcast.
That's what happens when you recommend media that is an 8 out of 10.
Damn.
Got him. Get out of here, Jason. You're never recommending stuff again. 8 out of 10, bad. Recommend more like 4 out of 10 stuff.
Okay.
Recommend another Toy Matinee album.
Emoji Movie. There's only one toy.
Yo, let's go. Brendan gave me the Emoji Movie on Blu-ray. I'm really thankful of that. It's the only Blu-ray I have that I have not unwrapped. So, yeah. Thank you, Brendan.
You're welcome.
Wow.
Tune in next week for some more bangers, bops, and banter. We're gonna have the album.
The album, yes. So next week, the album I'm gonna recommend is where he at? It's going to be Care for Me by Saba. I almost said Take Care. That's a Drake album. It's gonna be Care for Me by Saba.
And the movie is gonna be Perfect Blue by director Satoshi Kon.
It's Perfect Dark. Or wait, no. Is it Perfect Blue? I'm fucking
Perfect
stupid.
Blue. We're doing Perfect Blue.
It's Perfect Dark's a game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, Perfect Blue by Satoshi Kon. I'm super excited.
This should be fun. Should be interesting.
Yes. Oh man.
It's a psychological thriller, so it's right up your alley.
I'm excited. It's like, ooh, yes. Do Do we have any closing thoughts?
Anything you want to say, Jason?
Jason,
It's your
you
last
want to
time
shout
coming
it
on the
out?
show ever, so.
Yay. I had fun on the Bangers, Bops, and Banter show. And Lawrence of Arabia.